So when I went to Complexcon, I definitely wanted to make sure I stopped by this booth and picked up a pair of these sneakers. This is the very first attempt to create his own sneaker from a person that we know named Salehe Bembury. So pretty awesome stuff he's created through the last handful of years with a lot of different brands. And this is his very first one that he's just done independently. And I think it's a really cool feat to be able to do something like this. And so I definitely wanted to support it and check out what these look like and how they felt in hand and on feet. So let's go ahead and show you guys them and then show you guys the box. It's kind of like this. It comes with this paper right here. Kind of reminds me of like the Asian pear wrapping paper. Kind of fun. It also comes with a little sponge puffer fish as well, which is kind of cool. It's kind of his logo. The box is very similar to what we would expect from him. Like the design elements is something we've seen on a lot of different pairs. Now this colorway I believe is Complexcon exclusive. I'm not 100% sure. There's probably like 4 or 5 different colorways that we've already seen though, and all of them have the same sort of tones to it, which I like. This one's primarily blue and like that lime green, and then the purple midsole with the undertone of like olive to it, but I'll get more into that in a second. There's a lot going on in the shoe. There's a ton of different materials, and there's a lot to like about this model. The fact that it's, again, independent is always a plus, but I will tell you they are pretty heavy right out the box, so I'm going to go ahead and weigh them and see. Really rugged traction. They weigh a pound each, so I'm a men's 9.5, and these do fit me true to size in my opinion. I did get a 9.5, and I do like the fact that they actually released half sizes. Anytime you have an independent brand, sometimes they skip the half sizes, they just go full sizes. Obviously it's a cost-cutting measure, but the fact that they did half sizes I think is pretty nice. They are a little bit heavy like I mentioned, but again, very, very rugged. The midsole and the outsole is probably the primary reason why they are heavier. They're not running sneakers. I believe these are just like all day, everyday sort of sneakers, but they do have like a lot of trail-like vibes to them, the way that just the construction is. So the traction itself is really, really rugged. It's actually pretty thick, as you can see on the bottom. So I would imagine these wear really well over time because the traction is probably 3 times thicker than it has to be. But I like it. It gives it a nice like ACG sort of vibe to it. The midsole is really crazy looking. You have like 3 different sections of different dot patterns on the midsole. So the first section you could see it's like smaller. The second section it's kind of inverted, and you could see part of the midsole. And then the third section in the heel, it's a lot larger oval shapes. And then underneath that you have green oval shapes, or like an olive green oval shape underneath. Now I believe the name of the brand is Sponge, and the name of the model is the Osmosis. So I'm imagining we're going to see bunches of different footwear from him depending on how successful this one is. And I'm hoping he has a lot of success just because, again, it's fun to be able to see creatives be creative. If you didn't know, Salehe Bembury has done a bunch of different collaborations with a bunch of different brands. Primarily the New Balance ones are some of my favorites. He really put the 2002 Rs on the map, like with his first collaborations. And since that first one, he's done a bunch of different ones with New Balance as well, including one of my favorites that not a lot of people really liked, but I think primarily it's because of the price point being so expensive at like I think $280 or $300, and that's the 991 V2. That's my favorite model by far. But he's also done lower end models like the 530 that got a little bit of love as well. So it's nice to be able to see him diversify within New Balance, but then he's also done his own Pumas and other shoes as well. In fact, he did the Tyrese Halliburtons and stuff from last year. But it's cool to see the way he moves and the fact that he's able to just like create his brand identity the way he's been able to do it. His booth was very identifiable as well when we were at Complexcon, and I really liked the overall approach. And I like that he had all of the different previous collaborations, including his Versace collaboration with 2 Chainz and whatever. All of those were like laid out in his booth, so it showed his like a little bit of a background if you didn't know it. Now as for the shoe, the upper is kind of wild. So you have like a fused material in this blue that's kind of a piping around the mudguard and then around the collar as well, and then you also have that fused material over the toe box. It's actually fused on top of this diamond shape almost mesh underneath it. I like the cutouts though. It looks really nice, and again it kind of reminds me of something Salehe Bembury would do. The other thing that I really like is something that is different than any shoe that I've seen is the way he integrated the laces. So this part is usually pretty mundane. Like you have like 1 strip of leather or 1 strip of fused material that cover where the lace holes go, and then the bottom of the tongue. But in this case, he did kind of like a neoprene, like sort of puffed material here, and it adds a nice little like style element to it, but he also did some extra cutouts. So it's kind of more like a centerpiece in the shoe, in my opinion, the way it kind of sits on the shoe instead of just something that blends in. So great job on that. Also, his logo here on the middle of the shoe with a little splatter star. I don't know what it's actually called, but it kind of reminds me of something from SpongeBob. My son would play like a bunch of different SpongeBob games, and I swear he collected little things like that, it looks like. It says Sponge on the tag back here, and this is like a reverse side of Velcro. Smart usage of material there. I think that that's what it is. The tongue, again, is something else that I really like. You have a fused material for the tongue where the laces kind of integrate through. But then on the tongue itself, you see the stitching, and then they stitch another material over top. So it has a little wavy display, kind of in line with what you have at the bottom of the shoe. But then you have a little textured oval here in little micro dots as well, in kind of like this olivey, yellowy color. So again, just a fun integration where it's not something so singular where it's just a tongue. It's like sewn on materials and then a texture on top of it. I just think it's a really smart integration the way that they did that. The sponge logo on the insole with the pufferfish, dude, I love the pufferfish. So in high school, actually, I took an art class, like a clay class, like a pottery, or I don't know what it was. But I ended up actually making like three-dimensional pufferfish for my like class project. It was just like so fun to create, and I don't know, I was just fascinated by pufferfish back then. So needless to say, I really like the design of the logo. I also like that for the mudguard, you have a rubberized material. It almost looks like suede in some lights, but it's obviously like a very sticky rubber, very heavy duty. So yeah, it gives it a nice little rugged feel to that, and I like it. And then again, speaking of rubber, look at the outsole. It's crazy. The traction is wild, and then you do have a green underlay here. Now on the midsole, it also does say Squish Tech, which I think is fire. I love the name, Squish Tech. How are they on feet though? I will say they're not very squishy. Like overall, it is a lot firmer than what I was hoping for. I was hoping it would be a lot softer. There's definitely a nice little compression element to it, and it feels nice, but it's not like soft and squishy and stuff like that. I mean, I've also tried like crazy soft squishy brands out there. It is encased in this hard rubber midsole though, so this midsole is very hard. The green elements underneath is like probably the Squish Tech, as it says Squish Tech in green. So this material is a little bit softer, but being so heavily encased, it probably takes away from that squishy feel. Overall, I feel comfortable on feet though. It's a pair that I could wear like all day and like be comfortable, but it's not like as crazy as like, you know, Fresh Foam X or anything like that. But all in all, this is really comfortable on feet. It's just a lot firmer than I would have expected, but again, it is still comfortable. Also, you do have a pull tab on the heel. Always respect a pull tab. It has his logo on it as well. And then you have that same rubberized material on the heel section right here. Salehe Bembury created something new and unique and identifiable from a distance. Like you look at this midsole, you're like, okay, that's the Sponge, the Osmosis shoe. Like it looks like something that is different than what you've seen on other types of footwear. And I like that his color blocking is so identifiable as well, where you have just very unique color blockings. And so it's pretty fun to be able to see the evolution of what he's been able to create. The best part about the Osmosis model in my mind is the price point. It's only $150. Now I say only, it's still a lot of money, but it's not a $300 price point for a brand new pair of sneakers for an independent brand. That's pretty darn impressive. On his website, there's 4 different colorways that were available, but honestly, I didn't see any of them. I tried to get them all and I didn't get any of them. There's Yukon, there's Slaw, there's Mung, and there's Malawi. You can sign up on his website. I'll link it in the description if you guys are interested in trying to get his when it comes available. Some of the stuff it says on the site though, Osmosis is a Sponge signatured organic take on the performance lifestyle silhouette, powered by Sponge's performance cushioning technology, Squish Tech. This highly versatile shoe features a full-length cage foam footbed with a padded, stable, and resilient ride for everyday use. The durable multi-material upper construction and organic traction outsole are ready for real-world terrain and wherever curiosity takes you. And it does say that the Squish Tech cushioning is an innovative technology that is encapsulated proprietary foam wrapped in an engineered stability cage, allowing the wearer to both distribute energy evenly through the eye-catching Squish Tech domes while maintaining maximum stability via interaction between the two elements. As scratch rubber toe cap, a reinforced toe cap built with abrasion-resistant rubber, it adds lasting protection against scuffs and scrapes and so on. I like this. He says haptic tactile touch zones, strategically placed textured detailing along the tongue to provide intuitive grip and tactile feedback, making the shoe easier to handle, adjust, and move on the go. And it is ripstop upper. So it says engineered with lightweight ripstop fabric, the upper resists tearing and fraying while staying flexible. Built to handle varied terrain and daily wear without compromising comfort. I mean, so all in all, is it a buy? For me personally, yes, absolutely. I think that there's a lot of fun energy behind this model, and I like the overall design. The colorways are great as well. They're just different. If you're looking for a different pair from a different brand and you like some of the collaborations that he's made with other companies, it's fun to see him like continue that same sort of vibe to his own brand. Also, this proprietary foam in the midsole is pretty good. Honestly, I feel like this model doesn't showcase it as good as it could be, but other than that, it is pretty comfortable on feet. It's just not like crazy soft and squishy, but I do like that it feels like it's pretty durable and you have a nice like responsive nature to the foam as well. So it's not like just like a memory foam. Anyways, hopefully you guys enjoyed the video. I appreciate y'all for stopping in and watching. Subscribe if you guys are new to the channel, and hopefully see you back on the channel for some more content. All right, peace guys.